Gobble, gobble, motherfuckers.
Welcome to week 12 of Tonto's Demise podcast. It was a great season. There were highs, there were lows, and now we have to look forward to next year. Jet, what do you think about next year? Who are you keeping?
Nobody.
I'm probably keeping Kelvin Benjamin, possibly Mike Evans, possibly Martavis Bryant. It was a great year of Tonto's Demise. Who cares who won, who lost? It's over. Who are you keeping next year, Craig?
Not Antonio Brown.
I love your playing along. Bean?
Brandon Cooks.
Nice. Delling?
Big Ben?
All right. And how about Crick?
Not Alshon Jeffrey.
Because he traded him away. So you've all just agreed that this season is over, and we are moving on to next year. Hold on. We're right back. Justin, what'd you just say?
Devlin just said he's not keeping Jordy.
I love it. He said it in the high-pitched tone that he is known for. In the 8th round. And I was
He
going to...
wouldn't trade me Jordy for Demarius Thomas,
Hey, we're not supposed to talk
and
about
he's
people's
not
trades.
keeping him.
You know what, Datling? I thought today there was a little pitch to keep trading after people are out of the things. You and I are still in it, but I'll trade you something for Jordy. What do you want?
I mean,
We can work something out. $5-10
I've
a
got-
move. What was that? $5 a move? $10 a move?
I've got Woodhead in the 14th round.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck Danny Woodhead in the 14th goddamn round. He's not Jordy. You wouldn't let me have Jordy for Demarius Thomas?
We had agreed about talking about trades. I wanted.
Who agreed about what? I didn't agree about shit. You tried to trade me. You wanted Demarius Thomas and LeGarrette Blount.
And Drew Brees.
No,
no,
he offered
just-
Drew Brees first.
I wasn't serious about that one. I wanted Jordy for Thomas straight up.
And I
You
didn't think that
have
was
fucking
fair.
Cole Beasley. You didn't think that was fair?
Not in the long term.
You're not even keeping him.
That is absolutely crazy.
I cut Cole Beasley. He sucks. You can have him.
I was supposed to have. It would be Jet.
Yeah, well, you know.
I was going to save this for much later, but I have to bring it up now. Delling told me that you had offered him Drew Brees, Demarius Thomas, and LeGarrette Blount for Jordy Nelson. True or not true?
That was not serious.
Real or not real on the text message?
Huh?
Was it not really on the text message?
It was on the text message.
I have a question. How attached are your lips to Jordy Nelson's ass?
Very much so. I love my White Lightning. He broke my heart this year. And it's an abusive relationship, and we're going to have to work some things out. And maybe I'll be able to get him next year now, apparently, because Delling's not fucking keeping him in the 8th goddamn round.
How cool is that? Woodhead looks like the one guy from The Walking Dead.
Do you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The guy with the arrow. Who's the guy? Daryl. He doesn't look like Daryl.
He doesn't look anything like Daryl Dixon. What? What? No, he's got a short haircut. Daryl Dixon has a dim. He's got a.
I guarantee you, Daryl Dixon can't catch touchdowns like Danny Woodhead.
He looks like that one guy from Boondock Saints.
I'd like to state that I've only seen one episode
If
of Walking
Daryl
Dead,
Dixon played
and Daryl was
football,
not
it would
in
be
it.
like the last Boy Scout. He just pull out a handgun
Daryl
and shoot
Dixon
the
has
guy.
a mullet. He's got a mullet. What do you?
What's the line?
Hey,
And he's got fetal alcohol syndrome. He has a mullet and fetal alcohol syndrome. That's what Danny Wood. That's what Daryl Dixon has.
here, you know,
Daryl Dixon?
Jay.
That's his name.
I'll
on Walking Dead.
reconsider. I'll reconsider.
All right.
Jesus.
Bahork has left the
Everybody
podcast.
lost one guy.
All right, I have to put this out there. Jay Huber said it the best when he said that Delling got squashed like a pancake and very much like a Danny Woodhead. You know, I can't believe you. Do you remember this? He's small, flat like a pancake, like a Danny Woodhead.
I don't remember this either.
Nobody remembers. Do you not listen to the podcast?
I remember.
We do.
Thank you.
In your defense, I remember it. I also drink less and do less drugs than Detling, so that helps.
That helps a lot.
The cleanest people around.
The guy who came back from Vegas just a couple weeks ago on a 4-day bender.
That was pretty bad. That was pretty
You are
Have you had a blood test since you got back from Vegas?
you are not clean. Okay, that's the definition of not clean. Yeah.
Also, since we're talking about trade, for the record, I also did offer him Brandon Cooks and John Brown for D'Angelo Williams, which I thought was balanced from a points perspective.
I would have definitely taken that. I would have definitely taken that.
Brown add up to D'Angelo Williams.
Brandon Cooks has been scoring the same amount of points as D'Angelo Williams by himself.
Yes.
And then if you add in John Brown on top of that,
Cripples my running backs. Like D'Angelo Williams is the guy in the middle that just runs.
Hey, you should just change your name to the Cripples because they're all.
yes, that's actually true.
Speaking of
It should be the Crips.
Martellus Bennett out again.
See out. That's great.
Yeah, well, that's great. Thanks.
It is.
Heath Miller time. It's Miller time, baby.
It's great for me. I've got Marquez Wilson.
Oh, fuck your Marcus Wilson.
Like WR4 back up to WR1 or 2. I love it.
You're only being able to compete because of basically replacement players. These are like the bottom feeders of the NFL that are getting a chance to start.
That's because I've kept my people on the bench that are going to be backups.
He's actually got
strategic.
Keanu Reeves as quarterback starting soon.
It's strategic.
Name. It's Johnny what?
Johnny Football.
Speaking of Johnny Football,
Johnny Football.
you know, I did send the TMZ the video of Johnny Football out partying. I got a phone call from Johnny's agent. He's not real happy. He asked me, "What is your name, sir?" I said, "That's Kevin Bean, spelled B-E-A-N. I live in Windber, Pennsylvania, and I really like the Cleveland Browns pin. So you feel free to come take me away."
Nice. Also, AKA Venus. Yeah.
I have to say I feel pretty confident about not getting the Cleveland Browns pin this year.
We'll get to that in the interview a little bit later. It's definitely part of the conversation.
Getting the Redskins pin because you guys are all offensive as hell to me right now.
No one's going to take that from your cold dead hands because you're about to be knocked out of the playoffs. Kabisik, any thoughts over there? You've been quiet.
I find it interesting that there's been no mention. There's all these bears talking about all these bears, but you guys haven't mentioned that Detling basically handed you Langford for those couple weeks.
Oh, I was getting to that. It's beautiful. 3 weeks. It was incredible.
Andrew Luck was not hurt
I
when
mean,
made that trade.
Would you say that I raped him? I mean, maybe.
I wouldn't go quite that far, but I think Detling's team would have been much better off keeping Langford than he was getting rid of him.
Without a doubt.
Langford and D'Angelo Williams. I don't like that trade because it cost me a matchup.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
That's the way he made the trade.
And you bought
I made it because I needed wide receiver help, and I don't know if you noticed, like the only person at the time was like Calvin Johnson, Cole Beasley. I don't know what the fuck it was. Edelman gone.
Are we going to hear all your players that are
Well, you know everybody got injured. So if I didn't have T.Y. Hilton, it would have been Calvin Johnson, Cole Beasley, Eddie Royal, but he's out. So it would have been Keyshawn Martin. The New England Patriots.
He does kind of look like Daryl Dixon. He's got the ball.
That's good.
It's just the Daryl Dixon team. That's what you're working on. They are the Walking Dead. So.
That's true. I don't know if you guys noticed, I made a splashy new pickup with my last move.
Oh yeah, what was that?
I picked up Brian Hoyer.
Wow, silence, crickets.
Versus the last ranked New Orleans pass defense.
That's an incredible cricket. Much better than Detling's actual team.
I am actually going to become the first person to ever win 3 games in a row with Kirk Cousins, Mark Sanchez, and Brian Hoyer as my starting quarterbacks.
Is that an achievement?
You can't start all 3 of them.
It's true.
Well, if he wants to equal one decent quarterback, he'll have to.
You won last week with 100 and how many points?
Who?
Detling, how many points do you have? 100 and
103.
Yeah. So I would not be happy about that win. That's ridiculous.
Quality. Sanchez got me 39 points, I think.
Just last week, Detling said, "I don't win the close ones. I lose the close ones." You win the close ones. You win all the close ones.
Not all the close ones.
A lot of the close ones.
Well, we need statistics.
Well,
I need
Craig will back this up.
Craig will back this up. Get the hell out of it. Back it up.
Well, give him some time.
Give him some time.
When you are forced to start the Sanchez, and then you're going to complain about it being a quality win, no, stop.
Complaining. I was complaining.
Oh, okay.
You guys are complaining.
With your track record of players on your team, and you started Mark Sanchez, I was actually hoping Mark Sanchez got hurt last week. As an Eagles fan, I didn't want to see him in there. But.
That would have been great.
Shitty team.
Yours or the Eagles?
The Eagles.
All right, we're going to pause this for now.
All right.
Unfinished business.
All right, we're going to go around the table and introduce ourselves.
FC Bohoric, Tonto Bowl 12 champion.
Dub C Hooligans, Tonto Bowls 3 and 4 back-to-back champions. Son of a bitch, 4 and 5. I win a lot of championships. It's hard to keep them straight. I'm an actor.
Detonators, Tonto Bowl 6 champ.
Springfield Isotopes, Tonto Bowl 2, 8, and 9 champion.
Mighty Midgets, Tonto Bowl 10 or X. Could be Tonto Bowl X, right? Yeah.
Like the XFL, meaningless.
Tonto Bowl 10 champions.
Matt Detling, Tonto Bowls 1 and 3 champion when it was the hardest.
I think that's it. Tree Size isn't here. Gags isn't here, and it's kind of interesting that we're bringing.
not here.
Pyro's not here.
Bigler's not here.
Tree Size never won, did he?
Oh, that's right. Tree Size hasn't won, but he did say he might show up, but he didn't make it. What? Let's see. What do we all have in common?
I'm fairly certain that we are sitting at the championship table outside of Gags, who could not be here.
He did say he might be on his way, so he could actually just show up at any second.
We could FaceTime him at least, get him here. He does hate Winber, except for Mimos,
Except for me, and Craig's balls.
and Mimos misses him. But so every outside of Gags and Pyro, can't forget Pyro, but every Tonto Bowl champion is here at the table right now, represented.
Right, excluding like past members who aren't currently in the league. Let's see. And Gags, of course. Anybody have unfinished business to take care of? There's half of the league here, so any unfinished business?
I have unfinished business.
Of course you do.
This goes out to the entirety of the league, but especially the people playing the last couple of weeks. You had one job! You had one job! And that was to keep Craig out of the playoffs. Are you all aware that he is the highest scoring team in the entire league? If you let him in, it's just going to be bad for everybody, and you fucked it up!
I am also the highest scored against team.
Wow. And currently, what place do you sit in?
7?
Way too close. Way too close for comfort. Kevin Bean is sweating right now. I mean, you're not here, you can't see it live, but he is actually sweating. He's very upset. His face is red, and it's not an acting job, I don't think.
It literally looks like you took the plate of bacon away from him. That's how angry he is.
Actually, it's more of after I've consumed it. It's the meat sweats.
He's got the meat sweats, but it's actually reborn into Craig
Rage.
almost in the playoffs.
Rage. Absolute rage. Craig was in 27th place 2 weeks ago. And now he is knocking on the door of the playoffs, and I blame everyone that has played him after me because I beat him. I did my part, you sons of bitches.
I did my part.
Yeah.
I beat him too.
You did. For how many years in a row?
Every year since 2000. My last loss to Craig was 2011. Oh, 2011. I think that's 7 matchups, including playoffs.
Wow. That is like.
But I'm not going to change my name. I'm not going to change my name to the Kibisic Crusher. No, I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do that. That's like a kiss of death thing. Not doing that. Not going there. Plus, I have respect for the wizard. Plus, he's my brother-in-law. So you know. Plus, I've already taken his sister from him. So I think I've already won.
You can change your name to Crick the Kibisic Killer with all K's, and you can be just KKK.
I think that's Detling's next team name, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
That sounds like a team name for Delling.
Dev's like a team name for somebody who has Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
Isn't it with a K?
He's going for the
I'll have a chance to keep my name if I meet a Huber in the playoffs and squash him.
How do you spell Beasley with a K?
We'll get to that. Silent.
I will, whenever it comes down to week 13, and it is, I have to win to stay out of last place, and Craig has to win to get into the playoffs.
Well, you're suggesting he's going to beat me this week?
Most likely. I'll keep him out for you.
I appreciate that Justin is committed to this cause.
As long as it keeps another West Sider in.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
We gotta
Not Detling.
the dirty West. I don't care if it's Detling. I don't care if it's Bean. I don't give a fuck if it's Josh even.
That's low.
Yeah. Like if Josh gets into the playoffs and Craig doesn't, that's fine.
Josh who? We don't know Josh. He hasn't been on this podcast forever.
I think he's twerking down the street.
He might be twerking down.
That's the only regrettable thing about the past 2 weeks where I've kind of come back. Is last week whenever I had Peyton Manning score minus 5.5 points, and I beat Jeff. Where is Jeff? I can't.
He's out to sea.
I cannot rub it in to Jeff. Why couldn't it have been anybody else? Like I could. I had this great opportunity. If it was Brian or Kevin or Justin or anybody that I see a lot.
Sitting at this table.
Yeah, anybody at this table, like,
you love
hey,
to rub it into.
remember that time that I beat you when Peyton Manning scored minus 5 points? But no, it's anybody that's not. Yeah.
However, sounds like something Detling would say. However, I have a feeling we're going to hear about this for years to come. That do you remember the time that I won when Peyton Manning had negative 5.5 points?
Happened that I can't talk about 20 years later.
But I'm still going to, even though Jeff, for all we know, is dead out to sea. No offense, Jeff, if you're listening.
Why would you wish death on our serviceman?
The man protects
That backfired.
He is
It was
surrounded by
complete
seamen
joke.
fighting for our country.
That's what she said.
You said I disrespected Jeff.
All right. All right.
Death on him.
I didn't wish any death. I'm just saying it's possible because we don't hear from him. That's all I'm saying. It's just like, all
Why
right.
do you hate our soldiers? Why do you hate America?
Okay. We can't edit. This podcast does not edit. So this will all stay in there.
Maybe you should learn to edit.
We don't know how to edit. All right. Let's cut it here for a minute. All right, I've got some unfinished business. And I did a little bit of research. Not as much as Craig, because Craig is the master of research. And that's he is like Rain Man. I mean,
Research. He just has it in his head at all times on his drive to Walmart, Kmart for underwear.
all right. My unfinished business is with Gags and all of his trades. And I did a little research today before I came for the podcast. And it also involves Crick and Josh. And I did a little research and I found out exactly how the trades went down. Because I was curious. This is very Kubisic-esque. And October 20th was a very important date for this year's league because Gags made 2 trades that pretty much changed the course of this league. I wrote it down. At 7:05, he made a trade that we will all remember forever because I believe that the Rape Award will go to Gags or Josh, whoever you want to say. Rapey.
The morning after pill award.
Are you sure you want to be documented as saying the Rape Award?
I do. I don't care if it says trade rape or rape. I don't care. It's rape.
Give it to Jared.
That's good. And he's out on a high note. So anyways, at 7:05, Gags traded Cutler and Emmanuel Sanders, he just picked up Cutler off the waiver wire, fresh off the waiver wire, to Josh for Rodgers. You dropped him?
I dropped Cutler.
And Gags picked him up. He's a priority for it, so give him that. However, he traded him for Rodgers, Jonathan Stewart, and Andre Johnson because, whatever, he didn't care about Andre Johnson. He just threw him in there. He was dead to him, even though he had that 2-touchdown game. So he has been, and we'll get to that in a minute. At 11:35, a second trade happened on the same exact day. So only 4.5 hours later, Jim Crick, who's sitting right here, traded Alshon Jeffrey and Eddie Lacy to Gags for DeMarco Murray and Jonathan Stewart. So Jonathan Stewart was only on Gags' team for approximately 4.5 hours. Never saw the light of day, never played a game, never even really got to sit on the bench. He was basically just in like his purgatory. He's in his little waiting room, and then he moved right over to Crick's team. And I just wanted to, since we have Crick here, he told me a little bit about it. Would you like to comment on that trade?
I will comment on that trade. First of all, I was looking forward to trading Alshon Jeffrey while he was hurt because I was using my team without him. I didn't need him. I couldn't keep him again, so I thought, and I desperately needed a running back. Latavius Murray and Eddie Lacy. And Lacy was not cutting it for me. No. So I needed something. So and I had just suffered the heartbreaking, heart-wrenching loss to Gags on Monday Night Football when DeMarco Murray went over 100 yards after the 2-minute warning and just took a knife to my jugular.
How much did you lose by?
2.75. The bonus is 3 points. I know.
Oh.
So that was awful. That hurt.
Delling felt that.
So I felt like, you know what? I want that guy on my team.
That block PAT shouldn't count.
Yes, that block PAT shouldn't have counted, but that's
We're bringing that up again.
anyway. So I was talking to Gags about a trade for DeMarco Murray, and I was offering him Alshon Jeffrey, and then we started talking about Eddie Lacy. When I first looked at Gags' roster on that Monday night after that football, Jonathan Stewart wasn't there. And he offered me some other guys, and I said, hey, wait a second.
You said Carlos Williams, right?
I think Carlos Williams, LaShawn McCoy was in conversation. I said,
can we just let Gags draft Eddie Lacy next year and stop trading around? Because Gags always ends up with him
With
somehow.
him or without him?
Just
'Cause
like
he
that-
traded him to me last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the trade rape award.
yeah, so I said, hey, well, I don't know where you got Jonathan Stewart from. He goes, oh, I got him from a trade, earlier today. I was like, I'd like him as the other running back. I'll give you Eddie Lacy. He goes, oh, absolutely, no problem. And I just looked at it as I needed running backs. I got 2 quality running backs. I got rid of 2 guys who were doing nothing but getting hurt. And,
And have they done a whole lot since?
nope. In fact, I would have lost last week if I had Alshon Jeffrey and Eddie Lacy in there instead of DeMarco Murray and Jonathan Stewart. Would have been ugly. And I would have been eliminated from the playoff contention. But instead, a win this week against Chips, my boy, sets up a volatile Week 13 matchup with the Hoover Squashers, which is probably going to be for the final playoff spot.
I hope so. I hope
Only if I
so.
beat Chips, my boy, but
Which is why I'm already drinking.
so yeah, obviously.
stop.
But
Now, this kind of ties right into my unfinished business. Now, that trade didn't really work out that well for Gags, to be honest with you. However, and I will also add to that I want to nominate myself. I mean, no one else is going to do it. I want to nominate myself for the trade rape award again because I got Phillip Rivers off of him for basically an injured Emmanuel Sanders. He had a hurt shoulder when I traded him away. I don't know if you knew that or not, but he was slightly injured. He didn't miss any games, but he was injured. Yeah, I had some information. However, those 2 trades were not great trades. He still has a Tech Mobile team, as Detling refers to, Super Tech Mobile team, as Detling refers to.
Technical roster.
Thank you. However, those 2 trades were not in Gag's favor, but somehow he still managed to get a great team.
If I would have known that I could have gotten Phillip Rivers for Golden Tate?
That's what I'm pissed off about. Can we all say that that's because that was my initial reaction? Was I wasn't mad that he made the trade. I was pissed off that Phillip Rivers was up for grabs and that I didn't get him.
Emmanuel
I
Sanders.
was pissed.
A number 2 receiver.
I don't think anyone thought that Phillip Rivers was up for trade.
Yeah.
If anybody had
We've
known,
all been throwing things at
We
him.
all reacted because I said, when I made a trade with him, I was like, I told Brian, I said, it doesn't matter because he's got Cam Newton as his quarterback. Nobody's going to trade him a quarterback. That's the weak link right there. And then Aaron Rodgers goes with Phillip Rivers as well. Come on.
I do want to thank Gags, though, for dropping the Kansas City defense and my unfinished business with the podcasters because the Kansas City matchup was such a terrible matchup against the Chargers. But then
I was wrong.
Then they hung 42 fantasy points on the Chargers.
we were wrong.
And actually, I believe that was the second time in 2 years that the Chargers gave me mega defensive bonus points because I believe it was Miami who. No. The Chargers on the losing end because last year Miami shut them out like 30-0 or something like that when I played the Miami defense and they put up like 45 or 50 points. So maybe the weak link is the Chargers.
That's crazy that you have such great history against Phillip Rivers. That's incredible.
I know. And you know what? I wanted to go back and look. I may have played Phillip Rivers more than once this year already on different teams. I'm not even sure. He's been bounced around harder than a freaking hooker down here on Graham Avenue.
he's bouncing around more than Eddie Lacy.
That's true.
It's true. Fat Eddie. Fat boy Eddie. Any comments, Bean?
No, we're not at my trade yet, so I'll save my comments to my trade.
We'll get to that in your interview.
You don't have to trade for Matt Schaub.
Yeah, I have really strongly considered picking him up just for the fun of having Matt Schaub on my team.
If we could still do trades, I know the trade deadline passed, and I know that that's a sore subject with Kevin Bean. But if the trade deadline still hadn't passed, I would pick up Matt Schaub just so we could recreate the trade once again with Kevin.
Why is Detling not keeping Jordy Nelson? This is absurd. He wouldn't take Demarius Thomas for Jordy Nelson straight up. He had to have Garrett Blunt too. Here, wait. I'm gonna read.
He's going to pull out the text. And while he's getting that ready,
read the text.
all right. While he's getting that ready,
Bucks says Craig was in his ear trying to help
Craig
the trade
wasn't
along.
Craig wasn't in shit.
Oh, Craig might have been in shit, but not in this particular instance.
while he's getting the text ready, I just want to get some finished business out of the way. And I just want to tell you that I did buy Justin one beer tonight, so I only owe him one more beer.
You bought me a beer in a place where I don't pay for beer. That does not count as buying a beer.
And we are in the only place in the world that sells a Dolce Spud, and Detling has still not bought me a Dolce Spud, and he's sitting here.
Only because the cooks refuse to get up and make the mix.
And probably because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning right now.
We don't want
We'll go from here.
I got you.
we don't want Bean bouncing off the walls when he gets home.
I got you soup at Mendy's. Does that count for nothing?
Soup? What?
Soup at Mendy's?
Come on, come on.
That's not a lunch. That's not a lunch.
Thank you.
While he's looking that up, I have a piece of unfinished business. When do we get to eat Crystal's quesadillas? That's all I've been hearing.
No. It's kind of
Angie Stromboli.
Andrew Stromboli's, and that's a little.
Stromboli's.
This might be a bad time because Jimmy's about to get married in 2 days.
This past week, whenever I was looking up to try and find the lowest scores from past history, and I had to go back to whenever I posted on the message board each score, each matchup, and I had to go through, and there was one team that was just short as ABT. I'm like, what the fuck is ABT? ABT, what's ABT? I had to go back to the very beginning or whenever it started, because I must have used the name, because I don't think he ended up with that name. But it was Detling's team, and the name was Angie's Boy Toy.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Wow.
I had completely forgotten about that.
That's after he made out with her, right?
My new unfinished business is the 75 hours of my life that I lost listening to Craig hash over that same subject
I got something.
earlier this week.
I got something. We have all hijacked Justin's unfinished business. Please let him finish.
For the last 3 minutes.
All right.
Justin, Thomas for Jordy. Detling, Thomas and Olsen. Justin,
Thomas and Olsen?
I cannot morally give you 2 top players for one who's injured. I really want to. Detling, since when are you moral? Justin,
Devil.
I don't need any more bad fantasy voodoo on me. Detling, I can't give you a top 5 wide receiver for one rental player. Since when is Demaryius Thomas a rental player?
The point is, I rent him for like 5 weeks. I might not even make it to the
Rent him
playoffs,
for
and you get
5
Jordy for 3 years, 2 more years.
You're not even gonna keep him! What does it matter?
But you're not going to keep him either. And that's what matters.
Plus, you trade raped me to the championship last year with that shitty Jordan Reed for Alfred Morris trade.
stand
I
by
figure
that.
you owed me in voodoo terms. I'm fine with Jordy and Antonio Brown as my wide receivers next year. Smiley face.
I have one thing to say about this trade. This happened last week at my house. I asked Delling, how can you do this trade in good confidence? And he said, well, I can't, but, Justin has no problem with it.
For Jordy for Thomas? Why is
Yeah,
that not?
he was telling me that you had no problem doing that trade, and he told me 3 players.
No.
And he said you were willing to do it.
That was if we're doing text, that was the original text.
Here's the original text.
Olsen, Breeze, and Thomas for Jordy.
This is basically.
I don't even
This is the.
Did you spit on it first?
text, man. I said I don't want Breeze.
Let me get past these text messages where I'm giving you my Netflix passwords,
And dick pics.
bitch.
I never used them.
I said, you can have anyone you want for Jordy. I said, Olsen, Breeze, and Demaryius. Obviously a joke because you respond, add Blunt and you've got a deal.
That wasn't a joke.
Obviously a joke.
That sounds like a joke.
That was not a joke about the adding blood. No, I said that.
And then you said, what do you think of Blount and Thomas for Jordy? That way the league won't go apeshit. Which I think the league would go apeshit over Blunt and Thomas for Jordy.
Well, we have 2
Well,
clues.
explain that he is a keeper. You get him for 2 years, and he's in round 8, so it is value. And everybody understands that if you get a keeper as an 8th round value, the likes of Jordy Nelson, you fucking go for it.
You're not even gonna keep him. You're gonna keep Danny fucking Woodhead for Christ's sakes. Jesus, goddamn it, piece of shit.
All right, hold on. I have to ask the Collusion brothers. What do they think?
While I do not dismiss Justin's love for Jordy Nelson and the possibility that he considers Jordy Nelson equivalent in value to all 4 of those guys, Breeze, Thomas, Blunt, and Olsen, that trade would not fly.
Crick?
No.
It's a crap trade. I said that trade would bring down the league. That trade would end the league.
I did in attempting to sway Detling a little bit, and I think it might have worked. I told him that I had offered Keva.
You don't mean shit.
I told Detling that I had offered Keva, Breeze, Blunt, and Thomas for Arian Foster.
I would have made that trade.
That's wonderful.
Here's a quote from Detling. I can't give up Jordy for just Blunt. Star receiver for a decent RB1
You mean for like weed?
when I'm not even guaranteed to make the playoffs. I need Thomas involved, man. And then he called Thomas a rental player 2 texts later. And
He is a rental player.
How is he?
I rent him for like 3 games, but I don't make the playoffs. I lose Jordy Nelson as a keeper, which I'm not even going to keep him before you yell it. So, yeah, he's a rental player.
This is
a
fun.
rental player to help you get into the playoffs instead
Right.
of having Cole Beasley.
Right.
This is after you had whoever.
But if I don't make it into the playoffs, it doesn't matter.
But it helps you into the
does.
playoffs, and you're not even keeping Jordy.
Sidebar. Detley's not getting the playoffs. I'll beat him next week.
Oh, that was great. I feel
I bet you. We're gonna go look. We're gonna look at Demarius Thomas's score.
Oh, I hope he plays Cole Beasley next week.
He's gonna play Cole Beasley. He doesn't have anything else to play. He's gonna play Cole Beasley.
Got Eddie Royal. I'm praying for Eddie Royal's knee to heal. And Keyshawn Martin's knee to heal, too.
I think I'd rather have Cole Beasley.
I would not. He's the third. He's like the 4th option on the Dallas's receiving core.
Have your team start wearing the sweatshirts. They stop getting shot and killed.
I love how this is turned on Detling, this entire podcast. This is
I
wonderful.
will never tell you anything about a trade again because I thought it was a podcaster's trust.
No.
We have no trust anymore.
Hey, many people knew about this trade.
I brought it up for fuck's sake.
When?
Just
Tonight.
Well, yeah, but then everybody came out and this is what happened in the kitchen.
Coming at me, bro?
To talk about.
Am I coming at
Especially
you,
it's
bro?
obviously not a trade.
I don't
at
have to
all.
come out. You're not even in the playoffs. You don't have a chance.
And you were never going to make it in the first place because then at like 12:05 you said we can make the trade, but I guess you stopped ignoring me. And I'm like, it goes till 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. It's Pacific Standard Time that Yahoo goes on,
I didn't
and
know
you
that.
never made the trade. And I fell asleep.
Did you fall asleep?
No, I've smoked.
What? Blood.
I did not expect that.
Smoked LeGarrette blunts.
All right, that's enough of that.
My wife Sally has joined the table now. I think we should get her feelings on the Jordy Nelson trade.
Absolutely. What do you think, Sally?
I think it sucks, man. Why would you do that? It's a bad call.
That was a
Exactly. Wait, what?
What? Who's?
who?
Talk about.
I'm sorry. Who's Jordy Nelson?
Is that a boy or a girl?
I ain't keeping him. I'm getting rid of him. I don't know why you would want him. Kevin Bean told me to say that. I'm going on record.
Sally, would you keep Jordy Nelson next year?
As a sixth round pick.
Do we need to show you a picture of him to make that decision?
I'd like to note that I've had a lot of alcohol, and I don't know who Jordy Nelson is. But my professional opinion is no. Sounds like a loser. Drop him.
She has no knowledge of Jordy Nelson, however.
that the right
I feel like
answer, though?
Sally's the smartest person at the table.
For Detling. That's only...
We have a connection. Leave us alone.
Wow. Crick?
Hey, I saved Sally from having to marry him as his promise whatever wife or whatever. So
Backup wife.
Sally's
Got me at 20.
backup wife.
Yeah,
So-
you got me at 22.
Where he could have got me at 30. Detling could have got me at 30, but you got me at 22 when I was a little bit more
So you
younger.
took her at round 22.
So that's one hell of a keeper.
That might be the quote of the night. That is a great
I
keeper,
missed it. What was it?
You said you're one hell of a keeper.
and you don't understand it.
Isn't that what the guy in the Harry Potter game is called? The Keeper?
Yeah. The keeper.
Yes,
Gatekeeper.
thank you.
I'd like to state that Jimmy is lucky that marriage does not play by the Tonto's demise keeper rules, because it would have only lasted 3 years.
Would you have traded your wife?
What does that mean?
No.
Our keeper rules, you only get 3 years.
So she would only lasted for like 3
You would
years.
have to give her away,
And like,
and I would have snatched her back up in the draft.
But then you would have got rid of me a couple years ahead of then too, right?
After 3 years, Deli would have gotten rid of you
No, he would have traded her to me, probably.
for Eddie Lacy.
Probably for Eddie Lacy and his bum leg.
Because as we know, Detling never keeps anything good.
So I'd like to thank my husband for saving me from years of torture and maybe sadness. So thanks, Jim.
There's no baby there.
I do have one.
That might have been the best smack talk of the year.
She gonna get the Redskins pen.
I don't think so. She gets the best smack talk. I
I do
don't
have
know.
one thing that Detling will never have:
Hair.
a full head of hair.
Oh, he saw it coming a mile
I
away.
could make a list of other things, but my brother's sitting here.
Awkward.
let's make Craig uncomfortable. Talk about Jim's dick.
Okay, hold on. I mean, if she's saying about Jim's dick, she's suggesting that she's seen my dick.
Has she?
Nobody
No,
has
she
a
has not.
microscope that strong.
We've all seen that video.
What video?
It's one of the ones that Justin likes to watch.
Thanksgiving?
You mean of your wife apparently?
Option 2.
Wow.
Are you the turkey in Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, Thanksgiving 2.
No, I am
the
not.
squeakquel.
Craig always brings a good turkey leg.
Boobs in the first second, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
No, my brother.
Nice.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Craig's turkey leg penis tonight, are we? It is Thanksgiving, though.
How does Sally show up and like 2 minutes later, penis gets mentioned, and we had like 40 minutes of nothing else besides football?
Because Sally loves the dick.
Craig's dick.
Dick. Please.
Craig is blushing.
Yeah, I'd like to.
I like
vitamin
saying
C
one
to
thing that
sink.
can make two other people feel very uncomfortable.
You're a mother. You know.
Yeah.
Put it in your beer like a
Beautiful. One more thing unfinished business. Detling has an unpaid tab at Rizzo's. This is kind of bad.
No.
Should we get Floyd back here? We can't delete it. It's too much trouble. Too much trouble.
Unfinished business. You guys need to learn how to edit.
Declined. All right, we're gonna get off of Detling's back for a minute.
Good.
A special guest tonight, one I don't believe we've ever interviewed before. It's the Dub C Hooligans. Have we ever interviewed you before on this podcast?
No, just frequent caller.
Frequent caller, obviously, being a stalking.
Long time listener.
First time interviewer. And Detling has the first question of the night.
Yes, and it is a pleasure for me. I feel like when you ask a kid to ask the President of the United States a question. My question for Kevin Bean, such an important man in our league. The first question, do you have a framed photo of your family with the corgi looking down on you?
I do indeed have a framed photo with a corgi looking down on us. Yes,
It's not corgi.
it was a gag picture for Christmas that we thought would be fun to send out to people. So we do indeed.
Gag picture, yeah.
It made me gag.
Yeah, it was very fun. We had a good time with it.
I think it's hilarious. I haven't seen it, but it sounds awesome.
Yeah. Do you have a framed picture with your wife and children looking up at a dog?
I don't
Tettley?
even want to.
He did not hear that at all. He is completely out of the loop.
I just want to know if you also had a picture framed of your wife and children with a dog.
I would take a pity picture with you.
Although,
pity pictures.
I would like to
being
add-
single. I'm independent. I get to do whatever the hell I want.
I would like to add one funny moment when Detling was at my house and my son walked over, looking down, not realizing it wasn't me, and tugged on Detling's pants and said, "Dad," a couple of times, and then looked up in horror as he realized that it was Detling instead. So technically, Caleb could be your child. We're not sure.
That is because, to explain the whole story, Bean, we were talking about running, and somebody was saying how I used to run miles and I could run really fast, and then you're like, "Oh, my son just ran like a 6-minute mile." And I was like, "That's great." And then the kid comes up to me and goes, "Dad?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." And I had to go back through like the history of my mind and be like, "Did I ever?" I was like, no, I'm good. We were only part of me and Kelly were only part of the Pens of Our Lives club together, and that was it.
Oh yes, Pens of Our Lives. I've heard many a tale.
All right, so I'll have the secondary question of the night. The second question, it kind of just ties right into it. I just need to know for sure. I have notes, yes, Sally. I just need to know once and for all if what Detling has claimed is true. Did you try to hide money from your first wife when you won the league the first or second time?
I did indeed. It was a very dark time in my life. Clearly, things were not going well in that marriage, and I did indeed try to hide a little money for myself from my fantasy football podcast winnings, or podcast, fantasy football winnings. Yeah. No, we
As a
win.
concerned wife.
Sally would win money tonight for some of her rips on Detling tonight. Just saying.
Yeah, other than that, nobody wins on the podcast. That is a true story.
Now, do you
It's
reckon?
very clever because he's like, I told her, like, I don't know, I think we were always $40. Yeah. So I told her the entry fee was $20.
Yeah, that's right, because she would have gotten pissed if she knew I spent that much on fantasy football. So I told her it was 20, and so then I had to say that the winnings were half as much as they actually were, so I wouldn't get in trouble because she can do math.
Side questions, and Sally is here. How would you feel if Jim Crick hid money from you that he had won from fantasy football?
That bitch know better.
She got the money when I won Tonto's Bowl 10. So
Is that true, Sally?
you need another one?
I don't recall when that happened, but I think so.
That would have been 2 years ago.
2 years ago. What?
Well, 3 years ago.
Don't give me the finger.
$240. You got it. Believe me.
Yes.
Okay, 240 sounds right. I was gonna say, was it like $50? Because that would have been a lie, but he's legit. Kevin Bean, do you remember, since you hid the money from your first wife, which is awesome, do you remember what you actually did with that money?
No, actually, I think when it all was said and done, I didn't actually hide it from her. We went out to dinner, and the rest went in the bank. So I think I tried to, but I don't think I actually did.
Actually pulled it off.
Yeah, once it was all said and done, I just said screw it. And
I actually witnessed him making it rain.
Kevin, you didn't buy $240 worth of pudding.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You had the $240. You had to have the pudding.
Oh yeah.
I dipped my balls in it.
He did not.
If I would have known it was going to be that kind of party, I'd have stuck my dick in the mashed potatoes.
Nice. All right, Mr. Detling, do you have a follow-up question?
As we know tonight, Kevin was late to the show. He was at Lucille's, the gay bar in Johnstown, for karaoke. Okay. So my question is, what song did you sing tonight?
I sang two songs. Yes. I sang "End of the Road" by Boyz II Men.
Nice.
And
Really a classic staple of your lineup.
and then decided to mix it up and do "Hot in Here" by Nelly.
And how was it received?
Both very well received.
Could you sing a little bit of "End of the Road"?
I think it would just bring the podcast down at that point.
I doubt it. Detling wants to be serenaded.
Song.
I consistently tell Brian that you have a lovely voice.
He wants to be serenaded.
And so we come to the end of the road. There you go.
Nice. Oh, and we had Sally and Jim were slow dancing. Wow, that was. I'm tearing up. This is quite a moment in Tonto's demise history. Wonderful. Do you have anything to follow up with that question? We're good. All right. Next question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Baby, I know you've been cheating. Just come back to me, baby.
I just get so scared sometimes.
Nice. All right. Follow-up question, kind of completely unrelated. When Venus isn't talking, what is he doing?
Often singing, and when not singing, making that sweet, sweet Quan.
I did not expect that. Great answer to such a quick question. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Delling.
Can you explain an algorithm to us?
Usually, the way I figure out my drafting strategy, it's basically yeah. Well, I'll have multiple different drafting scenarios where, if player A is available, then draft player A. If player A is not available, then go with a combination of B, C, or D. So I'm always, as the draft moves, I might have 10 different scenarios to play out how I want to have my team based depending on what tier of running backs are gone or what tier of wide receivers are gone. Because I might say, okay, I want at least 2 wide receivers in the top 2 tiers or something. And so if they're gone, then I have to look at the value of the running back and say, okay, I can replace that with this many running backs from a point total, kind of like a money ball type of scenario. But that's what I have a bunch of different grids and formulas for how I'm going to draft things.
What's the earliest you would ever draft Gostkowski?
Exactly where I drafted him. I also try to. I want to draft my entire starting lineup in the first 10 rounds. So 1 through 10, my discounting bye weeks, my starting lineup will be drafted because I figure if I'm drafting a guy I want to start in like round 15, then I could have gotten a better value player earlier. So that's why I took a kicker in the 9th round. Then I took a defense, in round 10. Or wherever I took it, but I figure if I can get the best kicker on the board in round 9, who gives a shit? I can still get plenty of good players in 10, 11, and 12, but if you look at what Gostkowski has done, he's like 30 points higher than the next kicker, so it's still that's multiple games of kicking from another kicker, so it works out the way I look at it.
All right. Fair enough. I disagree. I mean, I wouldn't take a kicker before the 17th round.
Clearly, you are the Stephen Hawkings of the league because you lost me at player A.
Who's Stephen Hawkins?
All right. Next question. Serious question. Who do you view as your rival in this league and why?
Wow, my rival in the league. I mean, if I had to pick one, it would probably be Detling. But it's a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
It's not a rivalry of hate. I don't think there's any particular person in the league that I look forward to beating because I dislike them. Yeah, it's just more that I look for. I would say either Detling or Craig, or and Juddy too, for that matter, are all big matchups to me because it's just fun to play those guys.
But why do you said Detling first? Why did he come to mind first?
Well, I mean, not to be too complimentary, but Detling has a long history of success in the league.
Please don't give him any compliments.
But also, if there's one person that I enjoy trash talking with the most in the league, it's Detling. So I look forward to our matchups so we can talk shit on each other and have fun with that and and go from there.
Fair enough.
Kevin, I think our definitions of success are not the same. If you're talking about Detling's long history of success.
Well, Detling consistently makes the playoffs. He very rarely is out of the playoffs completely, and is usually at least competitive. So,
however, in his defense, he thought that Detling had 3 championships.
I did think
That is true.
because I make the playoffs so consistently.
Kevin Bean thinks that Detling is better than he actually is.
That's true.
Consistently?
I'm not sure that's exactly true.
Kevin Krabisic could confirm or deny that with his research.
There's ever been where I missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, like you're going to.
Wow! Oh no, he didn't.
That should be some unfinished business that I had, because every time I try to look up some old stats, nothing before 2008 is before 2009 is accurate.
True.
Because you would not keep the right standings. And when I took over,
You are a hack of a commissioner.
that is a league-wide unfinished
yes, and when I took over and I started adjusting the numbers every week, and I was like, holy shit, this is so easy. Oh yeah.
That just changed the year you took over.
Because the league was harder back
It's so simple to do, but you would not do it. I remember people would have to. Kevin Bean would be like, Detling, change the standings on Yahoo, please. Like 3 weeks later, and it's so simple to do.
He was so busy, whatever he was doing.
Times I was in rehab a lot. I was traveling.
Still?
Say he was after
Still.
your jewels.
Is this still part of Kevin Bean's interview? I'm confused.
Yeah, it has gotten sidetracked. All right, next question, Mr. Delling. You ready, Bean?
Let's hear the word half chub. Jesus. Kevin Bean. I know, I've seen that. Name 3 things you love about me.
Wow.
3 things I love about Matthew Detling. One is for the way. I love your trash talk. I love your ability to take teams that I look at and think, well, it's an okay team, and then you score really high points, and I can't figure out how you do it, but you do. You draft in a way that I wouldn't draft, but you always make that work. So I appreciate that. And the third thing that I love about you is Detling has sent me so many hidden videos from his adventures at Asian massage parlors that really, nights when my wife isn't around and I need something to get by, they really help. So I appreciate that too.
He has never shared one of these videos with me, so maybe you can forward it along to me.
Yeah. I mean, you might be into it. I don't know. It might be a little bit much for you. It gets pretty graphic.
I won't ever give you anything.
There are no secrets at this table.
Oh, this table? Wow.
Half
did
the
you
league is
notice
here.
that I just made the interview about me somehow.
I did. I absolutely noticed that.
I like your ability to turn water into Kool-Aid.
You know who has the greatest drink at the table right now?
Detling,
It's a sea breeze.
he did turn that question into the podcast about Detling. He enjoyed the negative attention so much he wanted more of it. Actually, he just wanted a little bit of sunshine to brighten his day.
You got any more questions?
I
There
did.
ain't no sunshine when he's gone.
All right, Kevin Bean, serious question. What would it mean to you to get a 3rd title?
Oh my god! Especially this year when I struggled so early in the season, it would be. I would love to be up there at the top of Mount Olympus with Craig as the only other 3-time winner. So it would mean quite a bit.
Okay, follow-up question. We know you come from the East, but you've settled in the West, and you've said that the West is your home.
I come in all directions.
Wow. Wow. All right, Sally has just moved her chair 3 feet away.
That's
Now,
not gonna be far enough.
You can thank the Asians for that.
Yeah.
follow-up question. If you were to win the championship, would you keep the draft in the West or the East or Central PA?
I have actually toyed with the idea that if I won the championship, it would have to work out. I would love to have it.
Please don't say Lucille's. Please don't say
No, I would love to have it in the bar that makes the Tonto demise, and bring it back, and bring it back to the origins of the league.
We got 3 Penn Staters right here that were like,
Let's
let's
start booking hotel rooms.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
we're there.
All right, so then it will be at what's the?
I don't know the site. I mean, it would have to be a place that we could draft.
We'd have to have a room.
Yeah.
Not the weekend before Labor Day, but the weekend before.
What is the name of the bar?
The Dark Horse.
The Dark Horse. So we could all get Tonto's demises and draft there.
Or at the very least, see if I could pay off one of the bartenders to give me the recipe for the Tonto's demise and mix it up for everybody at the draft and have it, someplace here.
Sally's getting
Oh,
sentimental.
that's very sweet. I got tears.
We're continuing the interview right now. Sally Kubisic has a question for Kevin Bean. We need to get this on air. What's the question?
I'm sorry. Now I go by Sally Kubisic Detling Crick. Sorry, thank you. Detling Crick. I'd like to know why Kevin Bean, apparently the subject of today's interview, looks so much like Jason Klinicki, whom I used to share locker space with. Why?
If that's what we're calling it these days,
That was 1997.
I'm just saying that, apparently it was so nice back then that anytime you look upon somebody that you like now, it just reminds you of him.
Do you even know Jason Klinicki?
No.
Have you ever met Jason Klinicki?
No.
Would you like to see a picture of Jason Klinicki?
Only if he has his clothes on. I don't want any 97 pictures.
If you've been to the Turkey Bowl, you've met Jason Klinicki.
I may have met him. I don't know. I don't remember.
He may have met him informally at a turkey bowl.
Your profile is very much like his. The dark hair and. Yes.
This is a joke
Yes.
specifically for Treese Ice right now because he's the only one not here who would understand that.
He would actually appreciate
Yeah.
it, yeah. But I do appreciate it all the same.
Gag's
All right.
gonna love this shit.
He is gonna Gags is gonna be eating this up with a spoon.
I must say, you do not complain anywhere near as much as Klinicki.
That's true.
I appreciate
And you
that.
complain like a motherfucker.
All right.
I suggest.
That's what he
I
looks like.
suggest. I don't complain.
That's what
He looks like Darth Vader.
Yes.
All right, on to Detling.
All right. Next question. Who was your favorite player to ever own?
Oh, good question.
My favorite player to ever own would have been Aaron Rodgers last year, hands down,
Why?
because he is a monster and a beautiful man, and he scores a lot of points. And I very much toyed with changing the name of my team to the Aaron Rodgers, and decided not to because I like to stay with the classics.
And so, what do you think of Josh trading away Aaron Rodgers this year?
I can't. It hurts too much. I can't talk about it anymore. Why would you give him Aaron Rodgers? Why would you do that?
It's crazy.
I'm channeling Justin now. You see what you've done?
Yes, I do.
Kevin, did you pass on Aaron Rodgers in the first round, or were you after Josh?
I was after Josh. Yeah.
He's already gone.
Yeah.
I actually was. My plan was if Aaron Rodgers fell to me, and looking at the way the keepers were, I thought he might. That was my first plan, but Gronkowski was my backup plan. So,
But unfortunately, Brian took Aaron Rodgers for Josh.
That's true.
yeah, thank you for drafting him that team.
No problem. However, Josh was pissed off whenever he found out that he could have had Jamal Charles because I think I was right after Josh actually, and he was like, "Wait, Jamal Charles was available?" And I'm just like, "Well, yeah, but you didn't tell me you wanted Jamal Charles. You said you wanted Aaron Rodgers." He was pissed off, but I don't care. He was late. It's his fault.
Worked out well for him. Yeah.
Show up, Josh. Listen to the podcast, Josh.
Don't you want to do the next question?
Sure. I just thought you had something to say. All right, next question. I think I just asked being the last question, but I'll ask you another question. Let me see if I have any left.
I have something to put out there because of all the trades that Gags made this year that turned his team into a Super Bowl team, the one trade that you guys really made fun of me for at the time was Carlos Williams for Alan Hearns. And my thought was, I'm trading him a guy who's definitely going back to the bench as soon as LaShawn McCoy is healthy for a guy that is going to be a starter on my team. And you guys made fun of it, and clearly that trade has worked out in my favor.
It has.
I agree. We were wrong.
We reluctantly agree.
Also, I'd like to point out Alan Hearns that when he was originally drafted by Treese Ice, the whole table except for me were like, "Who the fuck is Alan Hearns?" And I told Treese Ice, "Very good pickup."
And I said the same thing. I went, "Oh, I love that guy this year," and he goes, "Yeah, I know."
I had him last year. I liked him.
How did Alan Hearns get from Treese Ice to Gags?
This is the first time he was drafted.
Yeah, the first time.
You keep him, yeah. That's a tilted kill, yes.
That was okay. That was last year.
Why do all the guys from the East always want to go to like a restaurant with girls with big fake boobs?
Yeah, I can see it.
They like the boobs. I don't know. Crick?
No, Leah's not picked yet, so.
I like boobs.
Clearly,
I like Sally's boobs.
He likes to watch
He-
movies where the boobs are on.
He
the first
only.
second.
That's right.
What's that? He likes to watch movies. Yeah, thanks, Killing, where the boobs are on in the first second.
So first of all, Jim Crick only likes Sally's boobs.
That was before
we were With-
picking.
was it?
That was
Okay.
Jimmy set that up.
There are only two boobs that Jim Crick likes, and there was a Sally's. Just for the record. For the record.
Jim, how much do you like Sally's boobs while I stare at Craig and you...
They are glorious.
Make that face.
Great.
Who is that?
I'd like to confirm that Kevin Bean will say on record that yes, he does look like this picture of Jason.
I can see the
Klinicki.
resemblance. I'm not gonna,
I thought that was Kevin Bean. It's actually Jason Klinicki.
if I shave,
It was K-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the dude from Subway.
Oh, it is not Jared.
not look like Jared.
He's now in jail for child porn. Oh, that's not
How
good.
did Jared come up twice in our podcast tonight?
Why are my boobs coming up?
Yes, exactly like that.
Are they trending right now?
All right.
Do you have any more questions, Dudley?
Pause.
That's my question.
All right. Kevin Bean, let me
Work your eyes.
let me propose a league to you and tell me what you think.
Okay.
All right, this league only has 12 teams and 10 roster spots, unlimited trades,
Okay.
unlimited roster moves, no fees. What are your feelings?
I think that would be a lot of fun. You would constantly be streaming.
I knew you would love that league.
Yeah, it'd be fun. You could constantly wheel and deal. You have to all the time. You know, every time somebody was on a bye, you could have like Aaron Rodgers on a bye, but you only have 10 roster spots. You have to drop him.
You have to drop him if he's on bye.
Yeah, it would be incredible. Your team, well, it would be like DraftKings. Like your team would be completely different every week, but it would be amazing.
I designed that question just for you because I knew you would love it.
Kevin, you probably want the league there to be 10 people and not 12 because since we went to 12, you haven't won the league.
No, I'm actually I'm okay with 12. It's fun with 12, but I think it's
We still had 10. I think we had 10 whenever you won your championship. So
I know I definitely the first time I won it with 10. Did we have 12 when I won it the second time though?
I don't think so because that would have been what 2006.
Yeah. I don't know, but I don't have a problem with it being a 12-team league. I think 12 is actually a good number.
Fair enough.
God bless you.
But
Thank you.
I would like to point out a point that I've made before. Our 12-team league, because we draft 20 rounds, is like having an 18-team league because of all the extra players that we use. So it's incredibly difficult.
And this is definitely a subject we have to bring up, probably at the draft, to see how other people feel. I like how you think that you want to make changes, progressive changes. We both want to make rule changes. We're always constantly shut down. I don't necessarily agree with all of your rule changes. However, I do like that you want to make changes.
I just want to point out that any suggestions that I've made on the boards or anything, I don't care that much. I'm not angry about the way our league is, but I think if we have a rule in place that only penalizes owners, like if it's not doing anything to make the league fun or to make the league, better or more competitive, when you have a guy like Jimmy who's out of it in like week 4 and there's nothing he can do to get back in, that's not good.
Right.
So I just say if it makes the league more fun, that's great. But if you're doing things just to hurt owners, then what's the point of that rule?
So you're all about 3 letters, FUN.
That's right. I think the league, it's a $40 entry. If it was a $500 league,
right, then make
that'd
it more
be
competitive.
right. But it's clearly a fun league, so just let it be fun.
But I disagree on that point. I think it is cutthroat.
It is cutthroat. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of bragging.
Would you feel? I would feel like this league would lose a lot if it wasn't cutthroat.
Well, the thing is, it would still be cutthroat. I don't want to get too sidetracked on all of this because there is an equal amount of strategy involved in going the other direction as there is in what we're doing now. So it's not like it would make it really easy for everybody.
Right.
You'd still have
It'd
to.
be a different kind of
It'd just be a
strategy.
different kind of strategy, right?
Next
Crick is sleeping. Detling.
Yeah.
Give us one great story involving fantasy football.
That's very broad.
Yeah, that you guys don't already know.
Remember that one time we were in the
bank?
at Rizzo's talking to him on the podcast? That was a good time.
And it almost lasted as long as the draft.
Make it quick.
When I almost wrecked my car as I was realizing that I drafted
was
CJ
great.
Spiller in the second round. As I drove away and went, CJ Spiller? Because
Really?
even I knew that it was a horrible pick.
All right, last question for me, at least. Do you have anything to say about Detling's mom?
Detling's mom is a wonderful woman.
Some wedding soup.
And I will not disparage Detling's mother in any way, shape, or form.
Great, great comment. Great answer.
This is how me and Kevin Bean have formed a good friendship.
Detling's mom is the Tonto Bowl 7 champion.
That's true, actually. Way to go, Emily.
Way to go, Emily.
This is an interview for Kevin Bean. However, Craig has a question for Detling.
Quick question for you, since we're talking about how many members of the league there are. Detling, if you could go back to the glory days of the league being only 8 members, who are the 4 that you would cut out?
Oh wow.
Craig.
Oh boy. I'd take Jay Huber would be the lesser of the 2 as far as fantasy football goes, so he'd be cut. Vanilla Jeff, because honestly we don't know anything about him, and so he's cut. Just cut Gags.
Wow. Gags. Oh no, he didn't.
Oh no, he didn't.
Oh no, you didn't.
And who's the rest of the league?
2 more.
No, one more.
Oh, sorry.
Aren't you
One
a
more.
teacher?
What?
I don't teach math anymore.
Or anything?
Then I'd cut Justin Mahork because he gets obsessed easily, and fantasy football drives him insane, and his wife would appreciate it.
I don't even play fantasy football.
No,
No,
that's not what your wife tells me.
He plays real football.
I'm not. I'm not.
He's
I'm
an
not.
actual
I'm
owner.
not in fantasy football. I don't know what you're talking about.
Therapy is working.
Therapy
He
is
was playing
working.
fantasy football a few weeks ago.
Sarah-
Now he's not.
Sarah is paying the therapy bill, and it is working.
All right, and that ends our interview with Kevin Bean, although the last question was for Detling for some reason. So, Kevin Bean, thanks for coming on the show.
Great to be here.
Nice explosion, Kevin Bean. All right, first question. This is something new I'd like to introduce to the entire league, and we'll see if it goes, whether or not. We have the Browns pin, which is basically the worst manager of the year. Horrible, like, decisions, trades, whatever. Who's the manager of the year, and why? And, I mean, obviously we're not at the end of the season, but who is the manager of the year this year so far, and why? Anyone?
It's got to be Gags. It's got to be Gags.
Gags.
Me.
Wow. Was that Gags? No, it was Detling.
I was going to say Chip Kelly, but I'm apparently not on the right manager level as you guys are.
No, wrong. Completely wrong.
Well, you're not a manager of a football team.
Jut?
Not Josh.
Very true. Craig?
I'm going to go away from the pack, and I'm going to say it might be Tree Size, because he drafted a team. He was running in first place for most of the year. He's been right at the top. He actually just won the knockout pool, so he's been consistent. He hasn't had to trade his way to the top, and so I think if you look at his draft and everything, the moves that he's made, even though he runs himself out of every year, he runs himself out of transactions long before the season ends. I think he's had a pretty good year. He's been overlooked as having a pretty good year this year.
That's because he's
Fair enough.
He scored a combined 76 points this year. That's the total.
His average is probably like 120.
That is true. He is the least scored against team by a significant margin. And if you go back and actually look in the Yahoo records books, you'll see that he has the best. He's listed as the easiest schedule this year, and he also had the easiest schedule. The ever easiest schedule was for him last year, which I think this year has actually been easier for him than last year. So he is consistently getting the easiest matchups.
And he's taking advantage of it.
He is definitely taking advantage of it. So kudos to him.
All right. My vote.
He doesn't have to. He's not one of the handful of guys sweating weeks 11, 12, and 13, trying to get into the playoffs. Like everyone at this table.
Everyone? Can I want to, in fairness, I also want to say that manager of the year is also not me, because I've only made.
You still have Monty Ball on your team.
I still have Monty Ball on my team.
Yeah, you're Well, are you nominating yourself for the Browns manager of the year, the Browns pin? Are you nominating yourself?
Oh wow! How I've made 50. I didn't think I've made 15 moves. I've had the number one waiver claim for about 8 weeks right now, and
I'm so proud of you.
I haven't used it, and I've fallen in love with people on my team that I shouldn't.
Sorry,
That I
you
shouldn't.
talk
CJ
with
Spiller
the
and
trouble.
CJ Anderson. I don't know why.
Yeah, you fell in with the CJs.
No, yeah, I'm not sure what it's all about, but
That's pretty good.
So let's say legitimate, like actual managers of the year. We have Gags, we have Treesice. Anybody else? I mean, Detling nominated himself, but I didn't hear anybody second that.
Kelly.
Oh, Chip Kelly, of course.
I'd say I'd go with Gags with the trades.
Yeah.
Probably worked out pretty well
Yeah.
for him.
October 20th made this year for Gags, and I hate to say it, I agree. He gets manager of the year, in my opinion, right now. Win or lose the
I
season.
think it's to be determined. At
Yeah,
this
it's TBD. However, at this point, it's Gags.
Or trees.
Silence.
Or tree size.
Or
Gags. Or me.
Only Detling is saying Detling.
Probably not Detling.
It's probably not Detling.
Maybe.
You know what?
Detling has had so many injuries on his team. Maybe it is Detling a little bit. God damn it! That's
That's a legitimate argument
Still
from.
in the playoff hunt, and he's had
Yes.
97 players injured.
Okay,
his team died in the Andes.
I will give him that.
The leftovers ate.
They've eaten each other's legs, and he has a leg to stand on.
Yeah, you've seen Craig laugh at me every week as he does the review.
We all have.
Yeah, I know, but Craig literally laughs for like 5 minutes.
Because you're the
How
worst.
does his team still keep winning?
All right, so actually, now we actually like that's a legitimate nomination for Detling from Bahork, from FC. And I'll say, like you've probably had like 8 or 9 players legitimately hurt for a long period of time
Go
or
on
the year.
Waiver wire and push rankings. You will see that 3 of my players are up top: Le'Veon Bell, Edelman, Steve Smith Sr.
However, the only thing against you is I would say that your trades didn't help you; they hurt you.
I can think of a trade that would have helped
what?
you.
What trade helped? What trade helped you?
Calvin Johnson didn't help me for an injured Des Bryant.
Des Bryant did pretty well last week.
Yeah,
But the 2 weeks I would not have had a receiver. I would have had a Des Bryant on the bench instead of a Calvin Johnson.
I'm with Detley on that one.
And you think that Woodhead didn't help me?
Maybe, but
Not last week.
How
I
did-
know you said like 2 point whatever, or maybe even less.
how did Hilton work out for you?
It's it's TBD, Brian.
TBD. How did Langford work out for you?
See if
We're not
his
doing real good with the lightning round.
yeah.
This isn't very fast. However,
move on.
this is actually pretty interesting though, because I would say that based on the fact that you've had so many injuries, you're still in the playoff hunt. However, I don't think your trades have been excellent. They haven't been Gags level. They've been okay.
You
Just
don't need
saying.
to have excellent trades when you drafted an excellent roster. That has kept you afloat. For the people that have stayed alive, it's kept me afloat. The Arizona defense,
Yeah. It's good pick.
the honey
Fair
badger.
enough. All right, fair enough. Anybody? Last comments. Last comments.
I hope he gets it. Deserves it.
All right, that's it.
All right.
All right, this isn't really a lightning round, but this is since the commission has pretty much gone missing this year, I just wanted to give a shout out to the commissioner for staying in it, making sure his lineup is set, and congrats on the wedding coming up in 2 days. Congrats to Jimmy. Anyone want to say anything to him?
We'll see you there.
Wait, you going to the wedding?
We're all going.
We'll be there, baby.
We're tailgating that thing.
Whether,
it. Don't do it. Run.
Craig, what do you say about that?
Crick, no comment.
Congratulations.
Way to go, Jimmy. I mean,
Open bar. That's where I'm
yeah. If it's open bar, we're gonna be there. The entire league is gonna crash your wedding.
What's the new wife's name?
Amanda.
Amanda. I'm looking stromboli. To trying Amanda's Stromboli.
Yes.
Amanda Hugginkiss?
Don't compare the post-wife to the new wife.
Awkward.
Congratulations, Jimmy,
Same name.
from one former commish to the current commish. We're happy for you, and we're also happy that the woman caused you to get a 1-9 record currently, or 1-10 or whatever it is.
She must be awesome.
She must be, because Jimmy does not care at all about her fantasy football.
I mean, I remember how excited Jimmy was the night before the draft. The night before the draft, Jimmy was so pumped. And, like, after the draft, after his first loss, he kind of went downhill. But testament to his wife, because she kept him interested in life, you know? Way to go, Jimmy.
That's a work of a good woman, though. Don't give him credit.
Sally would know.
That's the work of a good woman.
It's hard
Because
to
Jim Crick has lost.
team's doing that bad. So
This
she
is true.
kept him alive.
It's hard to not.
What are we doing? Are we like asking the question?
And I did do something that I would never do in normal life. Is
your head.
is I
Cut
bought
your hair.
I bought that
Brush your
T-shirt with wolves on it, specifically just for the Halloween podcast video that like 3 people watched.
I watched it.
I love that podcast.
I want to know.
when you were in New Jersey.
I want to know why the New Jersey postcard was backwards.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
not
I
taking-
haven't,
It was awesome.
I haven't watched or listened to either of your fucking podcasts all goddamn year.
It's because
You didn't start this league at all this year, did you?
Is that
No.
your dog?
That is.
it's because that was intentional. It's because Jimmy's not that good at Photoshop.
Oh man! Kabistic is going for the Redskins pin. He's going for the Redskins pin. He said that Jimmy Huber is not good at Photoshop. You are
Not that good.
blasphemy. Blasphemy. Not that good. Blasphemy.
This week's matchups.
All right, we are here with the matchups, and the first one we're gonna do is with none other than Jimmy Crick.
The Mighty Midgets taking on Chips, my boy. Well, first things first, Chips. Chip's not going to be anybody's boy after a few more weeks with the Eagles. So let's go through this matchup, position by position. Matt.
That'll save time.
Oh yeah, well because I'm just going to take myself out. I'm going to win. That's it. I'm picking myself. That's
Why,
it.
why are you gonna win?
Why am I going to win? Because I got Johnny Manziel benched, and Gary Barnage is going to go ape shit crazy this week.
You got Johnny Manziel wasted.
Plus, Devontae Freeman's has like a headache or something, so I don't think he's going to be playing.
Did you call it the Freeman effect?
Nope, Craig does. I ain't doing that. Oh, and I have the Kansas City defense. They're playing Buffalo, and Kansas City's on a roll here, so we're going to go with them. I think they're going to take out Buffalo.
Would you say that Buffalo's quarterback Tyrod Taylor is not a good quarterback or an elite quarterback, as Brian Volsko states?
He is average at best.
Thank
He
you.
fits in pretty good with the offense that they got up there.
15?
But I think he's gonna feel the cold turf at Arrowhead a few times, a couple picks maybe, and Kansas City defense is gonna roll me right on to victory. So it's to set up the playoff matchup between me and the Huber Squashers.
Oh,
Huber Squashers.
Dun dun dun. Okay. Hold on. Silence that shit. Sorry. Good. Next matchup. Who we got? You're not on. You don't even play. Craig.
This week's matchup.
Nobody wants to talk about matchups. Suddenly, this podcast has suddenly gone silent.
No, I'll keep going. Where do we go?
Nobody's talking anymore.
All
All right, I got an easy one.
Listen to everybody stuttering.
I got an
Yeah,
easy
it's either
one.
me or
I'll
you
do-
or him and them.
I'll do
Okay.
Raritan Pups versus Possum Magic. Jimmy's getting married. He's 1-10. I'm giving it to Tree Size. Roll. Keep next matchup. There's nothing to discuss
All
here.
right, I agree. We'll give it to Tree Size. Sorry, Jimmy. Have fun at the wedding. We know it's more important to you.
You don't get laid on your wedding night.
right, I'm gonna.
What?
I'm gonna.
That really wants me to make me get married.
So we take Sally drunk. She's home.
Okay, all right.
I take Sally drunk. She's home.
Yes, it's
Thanks, Jason.
All right, so I'm going to cover the Springfield Isotopes and the Detonators. This is a big matchup right here. We got Alex Smith versus Tannehill. I'll give that one to Tannehill. Smith against Buffalo.
quarterbacks.
I'm actually
Yeah.
going to bench Tannehill, by the way.
Oh, okay.
People are starting either of those quarterbacks?
Yeah. I'm
Um,
putting in Bridgewater.
Julio Jones and Antonio Brown against Evans and Macklin. You got to go Julio and Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't throw your hands up like I'm wrong.
He was agreeing.
Yeah.
He was agreeing.
Golden Tate against Bryant. That's about even.
The running backs look like a car wreck.
Oh my gosh, Bell and Abdullah against. Okay, you win on running
You
backs.
put Abdullah in?
Jordan Reed. I'll take Jordan Reed. I'll take Landry over Allen.
Walker?
Delaney Walker is on a hot
Delaney
streak.
Walker against the Oakland Raiders, who give up.
And I'll
they
go
average
second most
touchdowns
points,
to the
yeah.
tight end.
Yeah, like Eric Ebron last week.
Except for
And you know what? Going through this,
Who are you going to give it to?
I got to give it to Craig. No, just because of Craig's atrocious running backs. I'm going with the Detonators.
Yes!
And that's who I want to win, so I'm going with the Detonators. Craig loses.
I
that
concur. Craig?
Boom goes the dynamite.
Well, Kevin, how could you pick me to win when you want to not to nail the put the
plan.
nails in my coffin?
I picked the Detonators. I
Okay.
changed my pick.
My problem here is that I'm not going to have Ryan Matthews. I'm not going to have Charkandrick West, it looks like. So
Thanks for that.
I'm putting in both of the, at least temporarily, in my lineup, I have both Detroit running backs because Doug Martin just ran for 300 yards against the Eagles defense. So one of those guys is probably going to do something.
They have actually
So
been pretty good against the run this
I'm
year.
in a tough
Except for
spot
last
this week thanks to injuries. So I've got to kind of shuffle my running backs here.
Go ahead. I just wish. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just wish you
I
said.
just wish you go.
Thank you. Good one, Sally. I would say it's a sneaky pickup by Bean of what's his name? Where? I was looking at the waiver wire, going, for the love of God, please somebody pick him up before Craig.
I had a waiver claim in too. Just
Did you?
I've been-
Okay.
I've been
I was
saving-
directly after him.
I've been saving my waiver priority
Just-
for that occasion.
My only reason to live right now is to beat Craig.
That's your only reason to live?
Period.
That is sad.
So if you beat him, then you'll kill yourself? Or?
Do you want to record this and list so your wife can hear that?
That's fine.
That's fine? Wow. Wow.
She does. She was there.
Okay.
Fantasy football tournament.
Oh, okay.
Tell Christo she's looking for a rebound.
Oh my gosh!
oh man.
Wow!
Oh god.
you just made your sister drink more. Gosh,
Finish the one she has.
Craig, that might be the sleaziest moment in fantasy football history of Tano's demise. Man,
That's what I'm here for.
that's what.
I think my ex-wife.
Wait, what'd you say?
You're welcome to her.
What?
okay.
Sphincter says what?
No.
Detley, I'd like to get your opinion on this next matchup.
Oh, I think they want to do it.
Oh,
but-
you want that? Okay, well then hold
'cause-
on. We'll go
'cause
to
Kevin Bean
we'll go to a
did
different
his.
one. How about this one? I know how much you love the two people involved in this matchup. Give us your opinion on the Twerk Kubisic versus the Rook matchup.
Sporkabis.
Well, obviously, these are two of my favorite people in the whole league. If Twerk Kubisic can get Danny Amendola out of there, if he's not going to play because there's a week-to-week injury for his knee, I want to go with Twerk Kubisic. No. I'm going with the Rook simply because I don't want Twerk Kubisic to get any confidence.
He's playing Thomas Rawls though, so you know.
He's got Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
He's got
Good
McFadden. He's got
player.
Tecmo Bowl roster.
yeah, he does.
Wait, who's Aaron Rodgers play? Chicago? You're screwed.
Yeah. You're
Basically.
screwed, Josh Hayward. Just start twerking.
Yeah, you might as well. Because against Chicago, it's like just open season.
And I will be posting this on the actual Smack Talk so that you actually get to hear this, Josh, because we want you to hear that you were going to lose. End of story.
Wow. Okay. You guys should do our matchup.
Yeah, next matchup is
Because Kevin Bean
Dub
did
C
yours.
Hooligans versus the Hoover Squashers.
And the next matchup of the week is
We got FC Bahork versus Vanilla. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this is a tie because in this matchup, everybody loses.
wow, that was an incredible commentary.
Nobody cares about that matchup.
No, we don't. I mean, obviously, you're painting me as like a hater, like a terrorist lover. Jeff's out to sea. Bahork pretends he's not even in the league. He doesn't know anything about fantasy football. So for that reason alone, I'm voting for Jeff to get a chance to make it into the playoffs. Kubisic?
What matchup are we talking about?
Bahork versus Vanilla.
Bahork.
There you have it, folks. Bahork, I say Vanilla. Bean says a tie.
A tie because everyone loses in that matchup.
All right, I think we are on to the matchup of the week, and we have Crick versus. No, we don't. I lied.
Just building the suspense.
Yes, Dub C Hooligans versus Humor Squasher. And are we going to take this seriously? Yes or no?
Of course we are.
All right. We have two outstanding quarterbacks, Dalton versus Hoyer. Who do you think wins that matchup?
Gotta go Dalton between those two.
You gotta go Hoyer.
Unless I start
I
Stafford.
mean, Hoyer's at home against New
I haven't
Orleans,
decided yet.
but Dalton is at home. He is against the Rams, so that could be tough. But Brian Hoyer doesn't seem to know that you should just throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins.
He's learning that very quickly, I think. Receivers, we have Crabtree, Cooks, and Hearns versus Johnson, Hilton, and Randall. Who has the advantage there? I think Dub C has the advantage. Who do you think?
I have to go with Dub C.
I agree. How about you, Kabisik? Who has the advantage at receivers?
Oh, it's definitely Dub C here.
Which is crazy because he has Calvin Johnson and T.Y. Hilton. But the fact that no one's starting to hit T.Y. Hilton, and Calvin Johnson looks slow.
Brian, I think the only person who really likes T.Y. Hilton might be you.
Used to be me.
Used to be you. So nobody likes T.Y. Hilton now.
No, you're on the wrong end of the.
It'll still pick it up.
T.Y. Hilton doesn't like T.Y. Hilton.
No, he doesn't like himself. He doesn't even say thank you to himself.
Does T.Y. Hilton stay at the Hilton, or does he shun his? I think he's a Holiday Inn kind of guy. Anyway, go on.
Andrew Luck likes T.Y. Hilton. Matt Hasselbeck, not so much.
All right, running backs. We've got Williams and Woodhead. I'm sorry, Williams and Hillman versus Ware and Andrews. I think I have to give this to Detling, Hillman and Williams. How about you, Craig?
This is actually a tough call because neither one, these are not your flex running backs. So we got D'Angelo at Seattle. That could be tough. Hillman against New England. That's going to be tough. All these matchups for the running backs are tough. But I might have to go Huber Squashers because there's the most likely chance of touchdowns being scored, I think, would be Hillman or Williams. Maybe Ware could get one, but I think Hillman and Williams could each get one themselves. So I'd have to swing it in the favor of Huber Squashers.
Wow. How about you, Dubsy?
Yeah, even I have to agree there. I mean, I think Ware could be a lightning rod this week, but he's got a really tough matchup. So even I give that one to Detling.
All right, tight end goes to Gronk. Anybody disagree?
Nobody agrees on disagree.
Only if is he up against Aaron Hernandez? What about is he up Aaron Hernandez? Is Aaron Hernandez out of jail yet?
He is not. He's still in jail.
Then I'm going with Gronkowski.
Absolutely, Gronkowski.
Detling, any objection?
No objections.
All right, so it's Gronk. In the flex, we have Lamar Miller versus Danny Woodhead. Danny Woodhead's going against Jacksonville. Miller's going against the Jets. That could actually be close, even though Woodhead's been quiet for a while. It might be pretty close. Any thoughts, Craig?
My opinion is fuck Lamar Miller. I hate that guy.
Wow.
Lamar, he had a quiet week last week, but the 2 weeks before that, I think he scored 27 and 33, so he's still solid.
Detling?
Woodhead versus Jacksonville. That's all I have to say.
He likes that.
Jacksonville's are playing really well the last few weeks. They're looking at them running the table the rest of the season. They're playing really good football right now.
If I had to actually pick something, I'd take Miller, but not by a lot.
Versus the Jets. We're not talking.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
never
the
mind.
Jets aren't playing football now like they were.
I didn't know Lamar Miller could run 85 yards.
All right, kickers, I don't really care about, but I'll still give it to Gostkowski. Any objections?
Nope, Gostowski.
It's got a great name.
Yep, absolutely.
He's kicking in the mile-high air.
Yeah. All right, and defenses are pretty stout. We got Carolina going against Dallas, Arizona goes to San Francisco. What?
Arizona's got that.
All right, Jim Crick wants to pipe in.
Yeah, Arizona's they're gonna blast San Francisco. I mean, Cowboys, could win that game against Carolina. It's in Dallas, but I think San Francisco's gonna turn the ball over a lot. They're not gonna score a lot of points. So Arizona's gonna clamp down.
I have a bold prediction. My bold prediction is that Dallas is going to give Carolina their first loss this week.
That's a huge prediction. That's reality, not fantasy.
So do you think I should put Tony Romo in over Alex Smith?
Yes. The answer to that is always yes.
6-2 on Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving?
games.
I don't care if Alex Smith is playing the Ramblers. The answer to that question is yes.
All right, so final question. Who takes us down, Dub C or the Huber Squash, or who wants to go first?
It's gonna be a tough one. I'm actually rooting for the Huber Squashers because I want next week's matchup with him to mean something. But I think Dub C is gonna end up winning it.
For me, it's got to be Dub C because obviously I'm chasing Huber Squashers more easily than I'm chasing Dub C for that one of those last playoff spots.
I'd like to see Huber Scoshers win, even though I don't really want to see him win. Although I'd like to see, like Jim, I'd like to see some fireworks the last week of the season.
I will not call my own matchup. I don't want that juju.
It has just been brought to our notice, though, that Andy Dalton is questionable for this week. So
Groin pull.
That's all right. Stafford's got a good matchup too. I was actually going back and forth between the two of them anyway.
but that's tomorrow. That's like
Yeah, I'll make the call.
you have to make that decision.
soon.
You have to make that decision very soon.
Well, I'll find out if Dalton's playing. I'll make that call.
Tailgating in Detroit, so you better make that call.
Yeah, I mean,
Turkeys are in the fryer.
Stafford is playing. Where's he at?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. I mean, like,
12:30.
Yep.
yeah, I mean, like, good lord, Philadelphia's.
10 hours away.
You have Stafford versus Philadelphia, and you're going to play Andy Dalton against the Rams defense.
You know, I played Stafford last week because Dalton had a bad matchup last week, and Dalton outscored him by 5 points, and Stafford had a really good matchup. So that's why I'm leaning Dalton, because even with Dalton having a bad matchup and Stafford having a good one, Dalton still outscored him. But I think now Philadelphia is so bad, I think I'm going to have to switch it to Stafford.
If only you could trade me Matthew Stafford right now.
I know, if only. But I cannot.
All right, boys. Well, I think that ends this week's matchups. Any final words before we end this week? I'm out of the playoffs, so I don't really care. Anybody have a comment that they care to share?
This is an honorable matchup between me and Kevin Bean, and I wish him the best of luck. And apparently, my tab is real.
Delling just got a tab for how much?
It's close to $100.
All right, so he's got to pay a tab from, I guess that was from the draft, right?
Yeah, you guys are all welcome.
Well, thank you, sir.
And fuck Stan Wozniak.
I
I
did not get a drink on that tab, nor did I get my Dolce Spud.
Wow. This was like in September.
I jokingly
That was
said, "I'm
awesome."
buying these guys a drink, and Foy did it.
What, jokingly over the phone, like he thought you were serious.
Yeah, but you guys got a bottle of Dom. Saw the picture.
Did we? I don't remember that.
Yeah, bottle of Dom. That's kind of weird.
I'm not sure.
It was I mean, I remember it was a great night, so
Yeah.
thank you, Mr. Delling.
You're welcome.
Where wasn't I invited?
You are always invited to the draft.
The change to Stafford has been made, which
Stafford is officially in the game. Wow. Wow, Stafford is put in the game.
I'm definitely taking Dubsy Hooligans now.
Me too.
I guess I can say go Calvin Johnson.
Megatron.
Megatron.
Mr. Bohork, any final thoughts for the whole week? We're about to end the podcast.
Go fuck yourself.
You ready, Delling?
Gobble, gobble,
Well, we still gotta do our message, but yeah, I'm always ready.
I guess he's always ready, but we have a message. But we're not going to end it there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Delling, any phone calls this week?
We have one special message, Brian.
All right, let's check it out.
Okay.
Beep.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen of Tonto's Demise. This is Mama Detling, and I'm here to wish all of you a healthy Thanksgiving. I recognize that this fantasy football league has given you friendship and camaraderie, but it has its share of turmoil also. We should be thankful this time of year. Tree, you should be thankful for your children and that you are in the playoffs again. Gags, you should be thankful for your team. Techno, Bull, Rooster, Roster. Vanilla, we are thankful for your service. Kevin, you should be thankful for your beautiful wife. Jay, you should be thankful for LaShawn McCoy actually performing. Jimmy Carrick, correct. You should be thankful for everything. I mean, for marrying Sally. I told you Matt made a mistake by not going after her. Josh, be thankful for Stacy. Matt tells me that she is a dame. Brian, be thankful for that wonderful wife who feeds my son every week with 5-star meals. Justin, where the hell's my Arlo Guthrie shirt? Jimmy Huber, be thankful that you are about to marry the wonderful Amanda, who I hear is beautiful and no one has any idea what she sees in you. Last but not least, Craig. You should be thankful for, what did he say? Fuck you, Craig. No Christmas candy for you. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone else. Bye.
That was the best trash talk of the year.
We know who gets the Washington Redskins fan. It's
Oh.
Detling.
Mama Detling. Oh no, she didn't.
She did.
That was great. That was unbelievable. Great message of the year. I'm glad. I think we can end it on that note. Kaminsky, any final comments?
I'm disappointed, but impressed.
All right. Are you ready, Detling?